Hello guys, just want to have a quick word with you guys before we get straight into the video. So you may have noticed there's been a few changes on my channel lately. We've got brand new thumbnails, got new editors that are living in Australia, are doing their work for me. Shout out to you guys, are doing a fantastic job. I just want to basically tell you guys that there's going to be a lot of changes coming up soon. The content's going to get a hell of a lot better. However, we do need your help. So if you could just do us a little favour, just hit that subscribe button, just there, the big red button that says subscribe. I'd appreciate that very much. It helps the channel out more than you could possibly know, and the bigger the channel gets, the better the content gets, and that's a promise that I will make to you guys. Now let's get on with the video. Now there are a few different factors that the media will push out to you. It's Brexit's fault, it's COVID, and yes, we can't deny it, these have been big factors into why there is a massive shortage in the UK. Just take a look at some of these news reports that have been out. These are from quite a while ago, but I think they're still relevant to why the shortage has happened and why it's still not quite where they would like it to be.
In the aftermath of Brexit, thousands of foreign drivers left the UK since they could no longer work visa-free. And now ordinary Britons are feeling the effects of that.
Analysts say the driver shortages were caused by the pandemic and Brexit. Various sectors had previously warned that supplies would run short. Many supermarket shelves have been left empty.
So let's start with the most controversial one, and that would be Brexit. It's all Brexit's fault. If we didn't leave the EU, we would have enough drivers. Wrong. So since Brexit, as you might have seen in that article, there has been 25,000 Eastern European drivers that have decided to leave the UK and go back home because they can't get a visa, or they just generally don't feel welcome. Can't really blame them, I suppose. Now, that's 25,000 people that have left. That's a lot of people, but they're saying that there's 100,000 shortage. Now, there's been a problem for a long time, and they've been trying to fill these gaps for a long time. It just turns out that the British public voted for Brexit, and this has not helped the situation. Now, why is COVID a big factor? Well, it's quite an obvious one, really. During COVID, for 2 years basically, we didn't have any driving tests, and that's over 40,000 people that would have done their test that didn't do their test. So does that mean we've got an even bigger shortage now? Let's find out. It also shows statistically that only 2% of drivers in the UK are under the age of 25. Now that just shows that there's not enough people in this country that are interested in the job anymore. It used to be where when you were younger you would be able to go out with your dad or your uncle or whoever it was that was driving a truck and get to experience life on the road. Nowadays we can't do that for insurance purposes and all that. So there's no really good insight to what the job is actually like, and most people these days just sort of get coached into wanting to do an office job or whatever, really. So the desire for the next generation of truckers to come through just isn't what it used to be. I remember as a kid, most people looked at truckers and thought, yeah, that's quite a good job. I wouldn't mind doing that when I'm older. Now, if you ask most kids, they wouldn't want to touch it. There's got to be reasons for that, right? So, according to the government of national statistics, we are still 60,000 short of HGV drivers, and that is predicted to rise up to 150,000 with each year going by and more people leaving the industry. Why are they leaving the industry? Well, should we get into that? Sure, let's do that.
So this is home and work.
Home, office, living room, kitchen, everything you want to call it.
We join Jimmy just before he hits the road to Austria.
Tea, coffee, everything I need.
He's been trucking for 40 years and tells us he's not surprised there's a driver shortage.
What's changed? Everyone thought truckers were happy. What's happened?
Well, we've never really been happy per se. we're in a job where, like over Christmas, we were the knights of the road. We were heroes, you know. Some particular service stations, I won't name them, actually gave us free coffees and a sandwich or something like that. But of course, since then, it's all just gone back to where it used to be, which is no respect for the lorry driver whatsoever.
From pay to hours, Brexit to COVID, Jimmy says the driver crisis is a combination of issues.
So here we are, parked up for the night. This is the best I can do this evening. It's only 7:30 English time, but unfortunately all the truck stops are full. Good morning, world. It's almost 4:45. Quick cup of tea, and then on my way to Ashford and the train to Calais.
For Jimmy, once he crosses the channel, driving an HGV is a different ballgame.
Go to Holland, you turn up at a company, the first words you hear are, "You want a coffee?" You haven't even opened your truck. You haven't handed a slice of paper in. When you arrive, you are treated as a human being. They appreciate you are a driver, you are a professional, you're doing a job for them. This is a truck stop. I mean, look at it, it's just amazing. My breakfast has arrived, fresh mushroom omelette, cup of coffee, a little bit of salad, toast and butter.
What chance, then, of the British government getting European drivers back in the UK?
These guys have found jobs in Europe, in Germany, in Austria, where they're respected and where they get a good pay. Why should they come back? That's not going to happen.
Your message to the Transport Secretary and the government, what do they need to do?
Support the truck driver. Get behind the truck driver. We need them and they need us, but they need us more than we need them.
And the government needs them quickly if this shortfall is to be filled by Christmas. Dan Whitehead, Sky News in Southampton.
And now let's not forget, it's not just drivers that are leaving because of retirement. Some of us just can't be bothered with the laborious CPC courses that we have to keep going on. Basically, like being told to suck eggs every couple of months just so the government can line their pockets a little bit more. But it's something that we have to do and something that we have to get on with. But it's not just our industry that's experiencing this. I have an uncle who used to be an electrician. He had to go back to school and do a load of tests so that he could carry on doing his trade that he's been doing for 40 years. And he decided enough is enough, and now he fits kitchens. So it's just the way things go. You've got to either move with the times or find something else to do. And a lot of people in this industry are finding something else to do. Now, don't get me started about services. We all know the services in the UK are abysmal compared to the services that we see over in Europe, America, and pretty much everywhere else. Sometimes I think probably even Afghanistan have probably got better services than we do, but that's just my opinion. Wages are not too bad in the UK, in my opinion. It depends on what part of the country you're from. However, that we have been getting pay rises, and a lot of people are saying, well, if you just put the wages up, then obviously more people will come back to the industry or want to come into the industry. Unfortunately, with the sort of law of economics, it's not just that easy to just increase drivers' wages. People have still got to make a profit to move the stuff, and people have still got to make a profit to sell the stuff that you're moving. So that will just have an adverse effect, and that cost will just be passed on to the consumer, which is generally everyone, or they'll just be paying higher rates to the customer that's ordering the stuff. So it's just a bit of an awkward one to say, yeah, just put the wages up and that will sort everything, because it doesn't work that simply. It's quite a complex thing. Now, insurers. So obviously, to drive a lorry, you have to be quite responsible. You have to be aware and alert. So a lot of the insurers will not insure anybody under the age of 25. So obviously, that's probably quite a big contribution to what I was saying earlier, where only 2% of drivers are under the age of 25. Now, if you're coming up out of school and you're leaving school and you're getting yourself into a career, the chances are you're going to end up following that career or something along that path and not want to get into HGV driving after leaving school for 7 years. So yeah, it's also another thing that's not encouraging younger people to come into the industry, because if somebody said to me, well, you can get your license, but the chances are you won't get a job because they want you to be 25 for insurance purposes, you're just going to go, well, sod that, then I'm go do something else. So now another thing that we can talk about is a work-life balance. Now, it is hard in this industry to find a job where you do get a good work-life balance. There are some jobs, I consider myself quite fortunate in my job that I do have a reasonably good work-life balance. But a lot of the jobs out there require you to have nights out, sometimes 5 days a week away from the family, and it can take its toll on you. So there's another thing there. Bad services, nights out, away from your family. Where is the incentive for people in the UK to want to become a HGV driver? It is something that definitely needs to be addressed, and I think there are such little things that can be improved to just make this industry that little bit more appealing, especially to the younger generation. So I'm going to put a little graph on the screen for you guys so you can have a look at what factors people in this country think are the main reasons for why there is such a shortage in the UK. It'd be very interesting to hear from you guys what you think the shortage reasons would be. Obviously I've gone through quite a lot of what they could be, but there are definitely many different factors that could be taken into consideration. What I might even do is leave a little poll on the community page, so if you want you can go across to the community page on my channel and vote down there, and then we can get a better idea of what the general consensus is. Hello everybody, welcome. Oh, fucking hell. Try that again, shall we?